It's Woody Jackie Dempson. Check it out, because we are seeing this word or phrase thrown around very often on social media. Culture vulture. Now, to me, I feel like it's a repurposing of the word, because we heard Dame Dash initially throw it out this year when he was talking about record executives. He claimed that, their indigenous culture, or the culture that really they rock with, is rock or country, but they can't make money in it. So what do? They pretty much look at hip hop, see hip hop like, you know what? Hip hop is a bunch of dumbass niggas, man. We could definitely get in there, pimp them out only for monetary gain, prey upon their culture, control it for dollars and cents, and that's how we could be rich, okay? So that's what he was talking about when he was talking about culture vultures. He was talking about a lot of white record label executives that were controlling what he considered black music. Now, if we actually look at the technical definition for what a culture vulture is, dictionary.com defines it as a person who has excessively pretentious interests in the arts. And if you look at Urban Dictionary, they define it as someone who steals language traits or fashion from another culture or ethnic group to create their own. Now, these days on social media, if you look at it, a culture vulture is simply described as a nigga who's winning way too much, okay? Or simply a nigga who's at the top of his game, who still embraces the bottom or the quote-unquote underground, okay? If you're a mainstream nigga, you still embracing the underground. If you do too much, nigga, you a culture vulture, okay? Now, why am I telling you this? Now, Drake is being accused of being a culture vulture. You've probably seen on social media a lot of people say, he's riding this wave, right? People have accused him, or they're quick to accuse him of being a culture vulture nowadays, that even if he does a fucking dance, they claim he's stealing from another culture and trying to pass it off as his own, okay? So he's not only culture vulture, they're just saying he's stealing, period. Now, here's the thing, because a prominent rapper, Earl Sweatshirt, you might not know him, but he's a prominent. A lot of people do know him, right? He used a reference to describe Drake, and he said Drake is a vulture. Now, he described Drake as a vulture because he was speaking about Kodak Black, and you guys probably know who Kodak Black is. I did a couple stories on him, right? And I do see people commenting on his hit song, No Flock, and saying, DJ Academic sent me. So I definitely know some of us know about that song. But in addition to that, Kodak Black really got a stimulus package when Drake decided to play his music on OVO radio, okay? Drake played his music on OVO radio. That was the same day he was gonna really blast off on Meek. Everybody said, damn, this song sounds hot. Who is this kid? Kodak Black. Now, not only that, Drake has shown him love on Instagram, commented on a couple of his photos. Not only that, Drake actually put up a video, and this is the straw that is breaking the camel's back. He put up a video kind of dancing to Kodak Black on Instagram, and he even tagged Kodak Black in it as well. Okay, now let me present the question before even reading Earl Sweatshirt's tweets. Is Drake paying homage, giving a platform, giving shine, or just being a culture vulture? So this is what Earl Sweatshirt actually said. Okay, he said, Drake found Kodak? Shaking my head, whelp. Then he responded to a fan. Nah, bro, because the fan was actually accusing him of being a hipster or having a hipster mentality. He said, nah, bro, no hipster, nothing. Drake can be a bit of a vulture on young rap niggas, and I don't want little Kodak to be a victim of it. Okay, he responded to another fan. He said, I feel you, but I still feel like Drake's overall statement isn't, check out this new shit I heard. It's always self-serving. And then he responded to the same fan again. He said, I guess you're right. It's not his job to develop them as artists, but the line between paying homage and wave riding is a blurry one. Okay, then he continued by saying this. Hey, but just like the line between paying homage and wave riding is blurry, so is the one between giving criticism and hating. Okay, so here it is. This is pretty much almost the new definition of what people are calling a culture vulture, okay? Because some people would call that same exact thing what Drake is doing, riding a wave, right? Some would call it business, and some would just say it's a culture vulture move. Now, if you're a fan of Drake, you're probably insulted, okay? You're probably thinking, Drake is the hottest rapper in the world, man. How the hell could he ride a wave, right? Well, if we actually deal with the history of Drake, Drake does want to be a part of every movement, every hot song. The drill movement was popping. He did a remix of Lil Reese's song. YG was picking up steam. He did a song with YG, Who Do You Love? Fetty Wap was becoming a wave. He did a remix to Fetty Wap's song, My Way. When Future initially started out, he did a remix to Future's song, Tony Montana. When the Migos was really buzzing, okay, he did a song or a remix to Versace. You kind of get my drift? Now, Rico Love said it best a couple months ago. He said Drake is smart. He uses other rappers for club bangers and for the nonsense, okay? Songs about a bunch of nothing, while his album is filled with a bunch of love, deep, emotional, substance-filled songs where you might call them soft, but it resonates with an audience, right? Think about it. It's only been of late that Drake been rapping about bullshit, right? Like solely about bullshit, right? That's why we even see him on a project with Vulture, talking about Xans and all this bullshit that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Ironically, when Vulture just got on Tony Montana, Drake jumped on that record because Vulture had a little bit of wave, right? Then when DS2 was about to drop, Vulture wave is like a million times that. Drake calls him up like, yo, let me get on that record. Where you at? And then basically he does a full entire album with him. Okay, so we know what Drake does is no surprise. But is that him being a culture vulture or just being smart? Jay-Z did it. Jeezy was popping. Jay-Z jumps on a remix. Go crazy. Okay, so it's all funny because we got to think about it. Drake could do that, right? Nobody could do it to Drake. If 2 Chainz ain't popping, no way he gets a verse from Drake. If Rose falls off, no way he gets a verse from Drake. So it seems kind of one way. He's using somebody else's wave to look bigger and essentially kind of overshadowing somebody's wave because people now call that Drake's wave, right? Because think about like Hotline Bling, right? A lot of people think Hotline Bling is the original to I Like the Cha-Cha when I Like the Cha-Cha is really the original, okay? Now, this is my overall stance. I don't particularly think it's him being a culture vulture, okay? I think he's playing the game. Now, is he riding a wave? He definitely rides a wave. But is that being a culture vulture or just being really smart? Most of these artists who are complaining, right, they would love if Drake hit them up for a feature. You think Earl Sweatshirt wouldn't have a song sounded like da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da, if Drake said, let's get on a club song, I want to do it with you? Let's be honest, okay? Rappers are looking around. They're seeing Drake is kind of looking indefinite. Doesn't look like he's about to fall. He's hopping from wave to wave, swinging like a motherfucking chimpanzee. And basically, they're looking around like, when will this motherfucker actually fall? It's time for somebody else to really run the game. And people and rappers always think like this, okay? If this motherfucker wasn't running it, it would be me. What did people say when Jay-Z was actually popping and he was never gonna retire, according to some people? If Jay would actually step out the way, some young niggas could get in there, right? Jay-Z got nothing to do with you. You just ain't hot. Okay, so we do have to understand and interpret why some of these rappers are kind of looking sideways or pointing out that, yo, Drake is just running shit and he's riding waves. Drake is obviously doing something that's definitely smart. He's definitely riding waves for better or for worse, but you will notice the people he does songs with is actually very strategic. He does a song with Skepta and Wizkid. Wizkid is an African artist before he would do a song with Sauce Walka. Okay, it's strategic. Now, on the other end, these artists, they do get part of the pie. Let's not act like Drake is the only one benefiting from this, right? Of course, Kodak Black got 50,000 Instagram followers in 12 hours because Drake mentioned him on his Instagram, okay? His YouTube numbers are soaring. Everybody's on fucking Kodak Black's YouTube saying, yo, listen, man, I just heard this on Drake's Instagram. Okay, his SoundCloud's out the roof. So these rappers are getting help as well. The problem here is that most of these rappers just don't last. When you're a Future, when you're a Weeknd, who have been helped by the Drake stimulus package, you see it as, listen, man, I guess that was a necessary step to expand my brand. Yeah, Drake might have rolled my way for a little bit, but it gave me a bigger audience that I could hit him with some more music and I could really expand my own base. Okay, I could take advantage of him. Okay, or take advantage of the exposure he gave me. When you're a one-hit wonder or somebody who's repetitive or who really just had one shot, you kind of look at it like, damn, man, in the biggest part of my career, I didn't get to own it because another nigga took it, okay? When you progress, like The Weeknd, like Future, you'll admit he rode your wave, but you won't be salty about it. Now, Drake has just been winning for too long. And according to me, he's been winning for too long. The reason why, man, it's at the point where everybody's looking at him like, what the fuck? A 6-peat? Why? He's been running for like 6 years straight. Everybody's looking at him like, yo, let's attack him, man. Let's attack him from all goddamn ways. We'll not even only attack him for music, we'll attack him for dances, right? He don't even got a record out with Kodak Black yet. He actually just danced to a song, which, by the way, a lot of rappers do. Meek Mill dances to a lot of, Meek Mill was dancing to like Dex Osama's song, right? Not only that, we saw Bobby Shmurda who was dancing to Fetty Wap's song. Nobody calls Meek Mill or Bobby Shmurda a culture vulture, okay? But they'll say it about Drake, right? And if we do remember, Bobby Shmurda is the one who gave Fetty Wap his break. Because even Fetty Wap admitted in an interview saying, yo, listen, my shit didn't take off till Bobby Shmurda posted me. So I'll be forever thankful to him. So it's a very fine line. Showing love or being a culture vulture. To be honest, man, I think the word culture vulture is stupid. I'd rather say showing love or riding waves or both. Sometimes it could be literally both, right? And now, is it good or is it bad? You guys got to decide, because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, the majority of people who rock with Drake, the OVO hive or the Drake hive, they don't give a fuck. So even if you call him or label him a culture vulture, nothing matters if the majority says, who cares? And that's what Meek Mill learned before. Nobody cares if Drake has used a ghostwriter, because they're the majority. They're like, no, we fuck with Drake. We refuse to believe it or stop liking him because of it. So in light of these accusations, if the majority still rock with Drake, who cares? Get a comment box, make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe.